Swallowed Star. Rock Wind Xiong, his teacher was a world-level, sector lord, who controlled the surrounding 1 billion kilometers area, Xiyong. Even though the strong were like the clouds here in Blood River world, a sector lord was still a very terrifying existence. Rock Wind Xiong, being under Xiyong, had very high perspectives and vision. With just one look, he understood that this mysterious warrior was a genius person with high achievements in space origin laws, able to produce up to 100 images. Just a universe level 9 and so powerful. It's simply too, Rock Wind Xiong understood that if such a genius were to be discovered by the Undying Shrine, he would definitely be treated as an absolute elite and nurtured. It's a pity that he's the enemy. The more terrifying the enemy, the better it is to eliminate him earlier. Rock Wind Xiong stood on the ground with the sledgehammers in his hand, motionless. Hua! 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 Over 100 peculiar blade techniques melded with the spread-out gold domain, causing the space around to follow the blade work. In an instant, there was nothing but flashes of blades, almost like the entire space was a dance floor. It was completely pressuring that Rock Wind Xiong. While pressuring him, it shrank more, the blade work condensed on him too. Rock Wind Xiong was trapped within. It was almost like he was trapped in a little house, and was being slashed at by large amounts of blade flashes. This technique from Time Scribbles didn't have a name, Messy Void was a name he gave it himself. Ha ha ha, a loud laugh resounded. Rock Wind Xiong stood his ground, almost as though he was admiring Luo Feng's performance. Rise! What? Luo Feng's expression changed greatly. He had initially wanted to rely on speed to kill him, however how could he compete with the speed of spirit weapons? That was suicide. Go! Rock Wind Xiong waved, immediately the blur of countless weapons covered the skies and shot in all directions. Even though the 100-thread movement was very shocking, making one unable to accurately deduce the person's position, however with countless weapons shooting in all directions, it definitely spelled trouble. Although, using such quantity would diminish the power. However, the enemy was Domain Lord level 2. Any one of those weapons could easily kill a normal universe level 9. Dang! Dang! Luo Feng's movement was unpredictable, however the number of weapons shot at him was simply too many. Wielding the 6-edged shield, he continuously blocked 10 of them. Even though he managed to deflect them away, they still affected his movement. Huh, Rock Wind Xiong's laugh continued. The rest of his dancing weapons all curved and simultaneously headed towards Luo Feng. The air trembled and split apart, as up to 1,000 assassination weapons shot at him. Luo Feng's expression grew heavy, his eyes were staring coldly at Rock Wind Xiong. A formless consciousness pressure fiercely smashed into Rock Wind Xiong's consciousness. Rock Wind Xiong felt a pain in his head. The 1,000 assassination weapons controlled by his consciousness were immediately affected. Without the help of his spirit energy, the weapons swiftly slowed down due to the high air resistance and gravity. They still followed their course and shot towards Luo Feng, he however easily dodged them. Weapons capable of twisting and turning, compared to dumb straight shooting weapons, naturally were much easier to dodge. Shwa! Luo Feng dodged the weapons. Shwa! Luo Feng rushed at Rock Wind Xiong. Go and die. Luo Feng had already reached him. The blood shadow blade in his hand had already become an incomparably resplendent flash, cutting straight at Rock Wind Xiong's chest. Killing a universe level and killing a domain lord were two completely different things. When it came to domain lord however, the soul was in the Qi Dian, this was also named the life core. Like Luo Feng, his Qi Dian and internal core had fused into one. Hence, his core was incredibly sturdy. This also meant that eventually breaking through from this internal core would thus be very hard. To kill a domain lord, one had to destroy the life core. However, this life core could be stored in any part of the body. It could be within the head area, consciousness, at the dantian, or even in the arms, chest etc. anywhere. Hence, to kill a domain lord, the first thing was to determine where the life core was located. Due to the consciousness attack earlier, Luo Feng had determined the position already. Dang, a gold light hit Luo Feng's blade. Trouble. Luo Feng's expression changed, he could see the gloomy and mad Rock Wind Xiong. Luo Feng's consciousness was considered Domain Lord Pinnacle, and Rock Wind Xiong too was Domain Lord level. Even though it was weaker than his own, it was still at Domain Lord level. That one attack only managed to shock him temporarily. Consciousness pressure, only when the level difference was huge, would the effect be obvious. Humph. Rock Wind Xiong looked angrily at Luo Feng. Simultaneously around him were 3 gold lights that surrounded his body and then shot at Luo Feng together. So troublesome. A fighter against a spirit reader would naturally be at a disadvantage. But to meet a spirit reader a few levels above me, Luo Feng knew that he couldn't win anymore. No matter how strong his comprehension of the origin laws were, and how powerful his movement was, as long as there was an army of different types of spirit weapons that attacked, there may still be a chance. However, if the opponent was a few levels above, how could he battle? Xiao! 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 3 golden lights as fast as lightning were shot out. Luo Feng's speed, no matter how fast it was, he still couldn't dodge them in time. One beam shot through Luo Feng's throat, piercing right through, and simultaneously the pressure from the shot caused his head to become a mess. Pu Tong! Luo Feng fell. What terrifying consciousness, just who is he? His consciousness is even stronger than mine, and his comprehension of the laws are so high. Rock Wind Xiong walked towards the body. He looked at it and was shocked. What a pity, a universe level 9 actually dared to come assassinate me. Such an attempt is just suicide. Let me see just who it is. With a thought, he ripped apart the mask and lifted the mask to reveal the youth's face. How are you? The youth suddenly opened his eyes, his gaze somewhat apologetic. When the golden horned beast reaches Domain Lord level, its internal world spanned over 100,000 kilometers in area. This was much larger than Earth. And a normal human Domain Lord had just begun to nurture an internal world. To truly expand the world, one had to wait until Sector Lord level. To be able to support such a vast internal world, how could the internal core not be sturdy? A Domain Lord level 6 golden horned beast, even a powerful Domain Lord level 6 would have trouble breaking its core. Just like back then when Hong and Thunder God entered the golden horned beast's body, immolating their souls using the pike and blade to attack its core, yet they couldn't break it. Rock Wind Xiong stared wide-eyed. At the same time, his body knelt down as fresh blood was flowing from his chest. You stand right in front of me without the slightest amount of vigilance. The moment I attacked you, you couldn't even react. Luo Feng stood up. His throat was already without a trace of the previous injury. He placed his mask back on, as revealing his identity may affect Nabu and his son Naku. Through his revealed eyes, he looked at Rock Wind Xiong's body. I don't blame you. I don't think many people would have thought that a universe level, even with his consciousness destroyed completely, would still be alive. Luo Feng looked at the body before him, shaking his head. At first, he didn't want to use special abilities to kill his opponent, and wanted to rely only on his universe level 9 abilities to fight it out. However, he didn't expect Rock Wind Xiong to be a spirit reader. His final assassination felt a little dishonorable. It's a pity that I didn't bring the Nanshan armament. If I had the Nanshan armament, my strength would have been multiplied, and I would have a guarantee in killing him. Luo Feng shook his head. My earth body really isn't suited for close combat. Following which Luo Feng swiftly scanned the body and found his target, the space item. That's it. Luo Feng quickly discovered an inlaid decorative plate on his waist, and immediately took it down. This metal plate was the storage item. I hope there's Blood River crystals in here. The more the merrier. Luo Feng immediately used his spirit energy to pierce into it and began searching. At this time. Not bad. Luo Feng revealed a smile, there's 2 crystals. Rock Wind Xiong had previously absorbed 1 crystal. Through various methods, he had acquired 2 more to probably increase his chance of becoming a blood warrior someday. Later he got 1 more, and gave that one to his little brother Rock Wind Zhan. Killing and robbing, vicious indeed. A cold voice resounded around the space. Luo Feng turned to look. In mid-air, there stood 2 grey armored silhouettes and their expressions were ugly. Late night, within the purple 3-story pavilion of the Pure Feather family. Pure Feather Tao was sitting crossed-legged with his eyelids drooping. However, he was pondering, my information cannot be wrong. 2 special envoys from the Undying Shrine are in Swallow Mound City. However, Rock Wind Xiong, that bastard definitely wouldn't let me meet them, This is troublesome, how can I contact the envoys? Rumble. A 1-kilometer-tall thunderball was floating within the city leader's mansion. Lightning flashed about and lightning snakes danced about. This scene caused Pure Feather Tao to be in shock. It wasn't just Pure Feather Tao. Everyone in Swallow Mound City was stunned, as there wasn't any construct 1 kilometer tall in the entire city. Hence when the thunderball appeared, especially in the dark night, it was extremely visible. Without any obstruction in the 100 kilometers area, almost everyone could see it. What's going on, for that bastard Rock Wind Xiong to unleash his domain? Did he meet a powerful warrior? Pure Feather Tao was shocked, and fiercely rushed out of the house. Standing in mid-air and looking at the northeast direction, his expression changed constantly. Just who in Swallow Mound could make Rock Wind Xiong go all out like this? There are no other domain-level warriors, and with the presence of the 2 envoys from the Undying Shrine, who would be so deranged as to attack at this time. Don't tell me, he's even battling the envoys. As for the strength of the envoys, even Pure Feather Tao didn't know much about it. To become an envoy of the Undying Shrine, one had to at least be at domain level. As for if they were at domain level early stage, mid stage, late stage, or at the pinnacle, he wasn't clear. Better be careful, I don't want to be dragged in. Pure Feather Tao carefully flew over, not daring to release any energy or aura, in case the enemy detected him and thought of him as an enemy too. He had to be careful. As Pure Feather Tao didn't have a backing, the moment he died, the Pure Feather family would be finished. Being old and not dying was important, and Pure Feather Tao was very clear on the importance of him being alive. The entire battle only took about 10 seconds. The air split, lightning shot in all directions, energies flew madly, golden energy waves glaring. The luxurious pavilions, flower beds, etc. were all immediately destroyed and scattered all over. The entire city leader's mansion was thrown into madness and fear. Pure Feather Tao however sneakily approached, as he wanted to be cautious. When he hid behind the collapsed palace and watched from far, Luo Feng had just taken the storage item. Storage item? Pure Feather Tao's eyes immediately went red. Rock Wind Xiong's countless treasures are within. Since he is the favorite disciple of that world's city leader, he definitely had quite a bit when he became city leader. All his treasures are inside. And that black armored man, his energy doesn't seem that strong. Do I kill him? Pure Feather Tao gritted his teeth, staring hard at the distant black armored man. Hesitation. Second guessing. I will kill. Pure Feather Tao's eyes were red. If he didn't make a move now, when would he do it? Just as he was about to rush out, in mid-air two gray silhouettes appeared. The gray armor they wore was the proof of their identity as special envoys of the Undying Shrine. Also, the energy they emitted was terrifying. How powerful. These two are definitely stronger than me. Pure Feather Tao's expression immediately changed. These two are probably both at pinnacle domain level. His ambition and greed from before were immediately reduced to nothing. I'll keep watching and see if there's any chance to get anything. Pure Feather Tao hid his aura and hid. Unless the opponent releases his aura. How powerful. Pure Feather Tao's eye muscles twitched. Dressed in black armor and boots, along with a helmet and mask, Luo Feng was fully dressed. These two, Luo Feng looked up at the two in gray armors floating in mid-air. These two were obviously enraged, since they willingly released their terrifying auras. At least Domain Lord level 7 or 8, or even a Domain Lord level 9. How troublesome. Yes. Simply just troublesome. Luo Feng had not wished to ever use the Masha clansman, mostly as a means to train himself. However, the moment his life was in danger, would he stupidly wait for his death? With the Masha clansman's strength, especially with its ridiculous space law's strength unleashed, if he wanted to flee, these two had no way to stop him. Two sirs, must you make a move? Luo Feng looked at the two in mid-air. You've killed my junior. Are you implying I should simply let you go? The handsome middle-aged man roared angrily in the night. The auras of the two special envoys from the Undying Shrine were terrifying. I didn't expect this. The other man communicated mentally. Brother Yu, my apologies, I didn't expect this to happen too. Old Mo, it's not your fault, I was careless. The handsome man was bitter. All of them could sing extremely well, it was the most absolute pleasure. However, these mermaids could only be found in the Demon Ocean. Demon Ocean belonged to a terrifying region of Blood River continent. To actually catch a mermaid alive was incredibly hard. Hence, one single mermaid in the continent alone would result in many powerful figures fighting and chasing after her. They were envoys of the Undying Shrine, normally they wouldn't have much free time in their hands. Yet, this time they actually managed to see a mermaid, naturally they didn't mind getting comfortable. When these two were extremely comfortable, they suddenly felt a large energy exploding in the distance. At that time, they were simply too lazy to move, because they believed that within this area, there wasn't anyone who would dare mess with the world city leader Si Yong's disciple Rock Wind Xiong. They believed that Rock Wind Xiong could settle it by himself. Later they felt that the energies were too strong and overpowering. Due to the rumbles and explosions, the two of them left their beds unhappily to take a look. By the time they reached their destination, Rock Wind Xiong was already dead. Within the city leader's mansion, the atmosphere immediately changed. You are not my targets. I'm too lazy to kill, so don't force me. Luo Feng looked at the two in mid-air, and immediately rushed into the sky. Trying to flee? In mid-air, the handsome man roared. He simultaneously communicated to the envoy beside, Old Mo, he killed my junior. So leave this matter to me. Help me by keeping any eye on him, I'm worried that this punk will suddenly find a way to flee. Please don't let him escape. Brother Yu, leave it to me. Relax. Envoy Mo nodded. Having been treated well and entertained by Rock Wind Xiong the past few days, now that he's dead, Envoy Mo definitely wanted to avenge him as well. Luo Feng rose into the skies, simultaneously the handsome man's killing intent rushed over. Luo Feng frowned. You are really forcing me. Since you wish to die, then I'll send you to hell. As they were cheap, he had ordered 10 at the time. Should there be any breakage or faults, he could use another switch. Luo Feng thought. Shwa. The earth body Luo Feng swapped instantly with the Masha clansman within. The earth body entered the internal world while the Masha clansman remained outside. During the switch, Luo Feng was flying swiftly. So, it was impossible to see clearly what had happened. He hit his energy. Chasing him swiftly, Envoy could feel the black armored warrior's aura go from a universe level 9 to suddenly nothing. I'm at a pinnacle domain level. Unless he is world level, he will die without a doubt. A blade appeared suddenly in Envoy Yu's hands. He swiftly caught up with the black armored Luo Feng. He shouted with rage, "You sure got guts. In this side of the world, only me and my brothers kill others. There's never been a time where we've been bullied. Go and die." Rumble. I guess he's really domain level 9. The Masha Luo Feng smiled coldly. Strongest assassins in the universe, along with my study of the 9-universe primal chaos tablet. I'll let you see my power. Masha Luo Feng closed his eyes. That mad energy rushed straight at him, and just as it was about to reach him. Shwa! Where is he? Is he so fast that I can't even feel him? Envoy Yu was extremely terrified. Brother Yu, behind you. A fearful voice entered into Envoy Yu's mind. Behind him the black armored warrior was looking at him. Simultaneously, he saw the flash of a blade. Attacking in close range, with the Masha clansman's speed, this special envoy had no way to defend at all. No. Envoy Yu's handsome face was struggling. Simultaneously, his domain level 9 genetic energy was fiercely permeating through the gray uniform he wore. That extremely fast and sharp blood shadow blade slashed his body, but that gray uniform slightly shook and dispersed the attack throughout his body, leaving behind a slash mark on the uniform before quickly regenerating. So. Envoy Yu quickly retreated, beads of perspiration were dripping from his forehead, as he was terrified. Luckily I have this armor from the Undying Shrine. Envoy Yu felt as though he had just escaped death itself as he looked with disbelief and fear at the black armored warrior in the night sky. How can he be that fast? His speed is impossible. I can't even feel it. Yes, the Masha clansman was indeed fast. During battle, more images weren't necessarily better. Like teleportation, once one reaches that level, there wouldn't be any images at all. An absolute space first level arc light, second level countless changes, even though it seemed like many images were formed when unleashed, the true goal was instantaneous explosive acceleration. Right now, the Masha clansman's instantaneous acceleration had already reached a terrifying level. Another level and it'd be teleportation. Of course this was the hardest step. One could only imagine, its current acceleration was already that terrifying, much less this Envoy Yu. Even a Sector Lord warrior, his max speed could maybe exceed that of the Masha clansman. However, that instantaneous explosion would still pale in comparison. Unless that Sector Lord was close to the level of countless changes. Or he had reached a high level of comprehension in wind or light origin laws. Interesting. Masha Luo Feng stood in mid-air looking at the distant Envoy Yu and was staring at his gray armor. That is a genetic armor. Genetic armor from the universe? Yes. It was genetic armor. To actually be able to disperse my attack throughout his body, and after I slit it, it recovered immediately. And with that bastard pouring genetic energy in, it obviously has raised the armor's defense. Even though Luo Feng was an outsider, he was naturally clear on the armor's properties. He had the cloud contact vine armor, which was even better than the genetic armor. Only thing was, he didn't dare use it. Otherwise, he would be recognized as an outsider and ganged up on by everybody. Naku's father was right. Those ancient god ruins really have items from when the Virtual Universe Company battled against the Blood River continent, having left its traces behind. And these should have been studied by the Undyings of Blood River continent, and they found out how to make a genetic armor. Obviously, their production amount is still very very low. Luo Feng's mind thought of many things in an instant. As the thoughts crossed his mind, he immediately charged forward and once again reached that fleeing Envoy Yu's face. Too fast. Envoy Yu communicated to his partner and shouted, "Old Mo, hurry and help me." Understood. From the distance, Envoy Mo swiftly flew over. Stupid. Luo Feng thought. Pu Chi. Like a kitchen knife slicing open a fish, the blood shadow blade was incredibly sharp this time. It immediately sliced open Envoy Yu's chest and piercing in. The blood shadow blade released energy within in all directions and Luo Feng immediately discovered his life core within. Chi. The tip of the blade immediately pierced through the life core of the terrified and trying to flee Envoy Yu. The moment it touched it, the core broke and Envoy Yu stared wide-eyed. His eyes were filled with fear and disbelief. He couldn't believe that the man before him was actually able to pierce through his armor and kill him, even more so that he'd actually dare to kill a special envoy of the Undying Shrine. This blade of mine has the feeling of slicing space. Masha Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. His earth body relied on the Nanshan armament, and was unable to pass the Heavenly Bridge's 6th level. After all, this was the strongest assassin race in the universe. What? Envoy Yu, who was flying over preparing to help his friend, changed his expression. How can he cut through that armor with just one blade? Flee. Envoy Yu didn't even hesitate. How can that black-armored warrior be that strong? In the distant city Pure Feather Tao hid himself and his aura. While looking up, his eyes were filled with fear. The envoy he killed was pinnacle domain level. Even with the special envoy armor, he was still killed with just one slash. Pure Feather Tao stared, he's caught up, the black-armored warrior has caught up. Right, Envoy Mo was fleeing in the night, and Masha Luo Feng, who had just killed Envoy Yu, placed him in his space ring and simultaneously exploded towards the fleeing man. Trying to flee? A voice entered Envoy Mo's ears. No, you cannot kill me. I'm a special envoy of the Undying Shrine. I'm a special envoy of the Undying Shrine. Envoy Mo shouted back. Undying Shrine envoy. Masha Luo Feng was shocked. Yes, I'm a special envoy of the Undying Shrine, you, Envoy Mo stared wide-eyed, because that terrifying slash appeared again. The edge of the blade that warped even space around it, almost as though before this blade, even space could be sliced through, immediately killing Envoy Mo and breaking his life core. How did he discover me, how? Pure Feather Tao was absolutely terrified. He didn't know. The Masha clansman had no soul or spirit energy. Hence the way it sensed others' energies and aura was different from flesh and blood life forms. Normal flesh and blood life forms rely on spirit energy to sense things. According to how strong the energies were, they would determine the location. The Masha, however, was a favored child of space. It could meld with space itself, just like how a spider could feel even the tiniest vibration within its webs. Masha Luo Feng was just that. I have no ill intent. Pure Feather Tao's face went pale. You should be the elder of the Pure Feather family. Masha Luo Feng smiled in mid-air. It's unfortunate, but I require Blood River crystals now. No. Pure Feather Tao's expression changed. He immediately became a flash, his shocking speed even caused the air around to explode, the constructs about him crumbling. Masha Luo Feng shook his head. Hua. His Earth body's speed in Blood River World's conditions could travel 3,000 kilometers in a second. The Masha Luo Feng was more than 10 times faster. The commotion that happened in Swallow Mound City late at night was even noisier than broad daylight. Especially as many people squeezed in the vast walkways outside the city leader's mansion, countless eyes were looking at the mansion, where the army stood surrounding it. What happened? Who knows, I even saw a tall and terrifying lightning ball before. I saw it too. Look, the originally tallest city leader palace has been reduced to waste. We can't even see it anymore. A group of excited people in Swallow Mound City were discussing. They didn't even know. Masha Luo Feng tore through the air and pierced through the cloud levels. It's wonderful, this feeling of melding with the universe space. When can my Earth body reach such a level? Luo Feng was addicted to this. This feeling, where the universe space felt extremely clear, to be able to move through the universe space ripples and feel the living beings all about. Shwa. Masha Luo Feng stopped. At this time he was already close to 1,000,000 km away from Swallow Mound City, with just that bit of work. Swap. Even though he couldn't bear to do it, using the Masha body was after all a very dangerous thing to do, as there were large amounts of sector lords and undyings in this world. The moment he was too high profile and got noticed, everything would be over. It's better to stay low profile, and use only my universe level strength. He swapped back to his human body. Luo Feng suddenly smiled, time to see what those envoys from the Undying Shrine and even Pure Feather Tao had on them, just what surprise can they give me?